Good day, everybody. Welcome back to Assassin's Creed 2. Last time we met Petruchio, who wanted us to collect feathers. He's our younger, sickly brother. We ended up collecting some feathers for Petruchio, and then went to our father, who needed us to drop a couple of letters off to a couple of shady characters and pick one up. After all of this, we returned home, only to find out that our brothers and our father were taken forcefully from their own home. Our sister and mother managed to hide away. The housekeeper happened to be home and graciously took our family to her sisters for safety. We then went to speak to Father, who told us to go back home, and inside of a secret room there was a chest. We needed to retrieve some clothing and a letter and present it to Uberto. We recognize our clothing that we found in the chest as an assassin uniform. It appears our father knows the creed. However, Ezio's been in the dark this whole time, so our mission is clear. We needed to deliver this letter as our father tasked us to do, for his life was at stake. Rushing to Uberto, we delivered the letter, and he assured us that in the morning the letter would absolve our brothers and father of all crimes. Everything would be taken care of, and they would be safe. However, in the morning, Uberto, standing on the hangman's platform, shouted that Giovanni and accomplices were guilty of conspiracies and had no evidence to absolve them of their crimes. And thus, all three of Ezio's family were hanged in front of his eyes. Unable to save them or do anything, Ezio had to escape and run away, hopefully to save the remaining family that he had left.
I swear we will! Father! There!
Republic of Florida, 1476.
I've got a little request for you. I've identified several strange markings that I've discovered right across Renaissance Italy. Now, I don't know what they're doing there, but I want you to help me find out. Rebecca has marked their general location in the database with an eye icon, and she's made them glow as well. Keep an eye out.
Sir Ezio, thank God. I've been looking everywhere for you.
I couldn't stop them, Annetta. I tried, I swear. But there were so many guards.
Please, come with me. We need to get you off the streets.
What of my mother and sister?
They're safe. I'll bring you to them.
No, it's too dangerous for us to travel together. Tell me where to go and I'll meet you there.
My sister's house, just north of the Duomo.
I'm on my way.
Annetta. Date of birth, 1457. Profession, servant. The Auditore family's live-in servant, Annetta, had one of the few respectable jobs allowed lower-class Renaissance women. Rich families seldom had more than one or two servants. Most were young, sometimes children. Many hoped their masters would help raise their standing, but usually turnover was rapid. Ultimately, very little is known about Annetta's life. she passed on without making a mark on history. Before heading straight to Annetta's sisters, perhaps we should get a lay of the land. We can get to the closest viewpoint and take a look around.
Doesn't look like one.
La Rosa Colta. Rebecca says one of those strange glyphs Sean mentioned is on this landmark. You should go and find it. Opened in 1465, La Rosa Colta, the plucked rose, quickly became essential to Florentine life. The women there were known for being upper class. They were educated in poetry and the arts, as well as sexual intercourse. It was not rare to see members of the Signoria at La Rosa Colta, and even on occasion, a Medici. Courtesans. Rebecca says those girls are definitely available for hire. I bet you can use them as moving cover. In fact, try sending them to tempt unwanted guards. Prostitution was one of the most popular occupations for Renaissance women, whose only other option in most cases were staying with their families or living in a convent. Italian society supported prostitution, and many brothels were regulated by the government. At the end of the 15th centuries, cities started to pass laws against prostitution, forcing courtesans to wear specific outfits and separating them from respected society. At this point, I'm just looking for the symbol on the building, and I believe we've just found it. Our first.
Wait, that's not possible. This can't be. Hold on. That's computer code. Let me compile it. Oh, shit, it's an encrypted file.
Upload it to my computer. I'm a master at decryption.
I can't! It's only compatible with the Animus itself.
Upload it to Desmond then. I can't believe this.
Hello, this is... They call me Subject 16. Listen, I don't have much time. There's something I have to show you. We have been lied to this whole time. Everything we know, everything we've been brought up to believe, it's wrong. Okay, I've uploaded the evidence, the file that proves it all, but I've split it into 20 pieces and locked each with a code. Can't be too careful. Queen Isabella. No, not her. What century is it? Never mind. I've hidden the code to the first file inside this program. Find it. Find them all. And along the way, you'll begin to see the truth.
What the heck? How did this get inside our Animus?
Oh, the memory core. We transferred 16's memory data from Abstergo into the Animus 2.0. He must have hacked the machine when Vidic left him alone between sessions.
Oh, hold on, wait a second. The signs on the walls in Abstergo, the ones written in blood, those were clues. He was telling us to look for them inside the Animus.
It sounded to me like Subject 16 wasn't doing so well when he made that recording. Anyways, let's break his code. 5 of these mystic scenes share a core similarity. Pick them out, and you'll begin to see. Looking at some of the images, nothing yet stands out. In 3 out of 5 so far, I've seen what appears to be some sort of orb or food or fruit. And that other 2 that we've seen makes 5. 2 with fruit, 3 with fruit, 4 with fruit, and 5. And that was it, an extremely short clip of what it looks to be like 2 people running or jumping over something. That doesn't tell us much, so we'll have to find the rest and watch the whole thing later. But for now, let's go and visit ourselves the brothel.
I think we have the wrong building.
No. No, this is it.
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Messer Ezio. Annetta speaks quite highly of you. I can see why.
I appreciate the kind words, Madonna.
Ti prego, call me Paola.
Thank you for offering your home to my family, Paola.
It was the least I could do. You must be tired. Perhaps you'd...
No, grazie. I can't stay.
Why? Where are you going?
To kill Uberto Alberti.
I understand your desire for vengeance, but the Gonfaloniere is a powerful man. You are not a killer, Ezio.
Spare me the lecture.
But I can make you one.
And why are you going to teach me how to kill?
I'm not. I'm going to teach you how to survive. Come.
Fitting in, learn the ways of the courtesans.
Discretion is paramount in my profession. We must walk the streets freely, seen but unseen. You too must learn to blend like us, and become one with the city's crowds.
Paola, date of birth 1438, profession Madame of La Rosa Colta. There isn't much information about Paola in the history books, but the Florentine archives reveal that she was orphaned at age 8 when her parents were killed at sea. Left with a choice between joining a nunnery and prostitution, she began a life on the streets. At 16, she vanishes from the records, only to reappear at age 20, when she was arrested for murdering a city guard. On an interesting note, Giovanni Auditore represented her in court, winning the case on a self-defense plea. Released from prison, Paola went on to start her own brothel to protect many other unfortunate women of the street.
My girls will show you how.
You can practice with me anytime.
I do enjoy blending in this game a lot more than I did in the other one. But you don't need to see us walking around the block while blending, so we'll make it quick.
Bene. Now that you've learned to blend, I'll show you how to use it for more than just moving around. Let's teach you how to steal.
Again, with the tutorial on stealing, we're just gonna kinda make it quick.
Leonardo! My money's gone! Gone!
You can go now, girls.
Oh, do we have to?
So innocent.
He's cute.
Now that you have learned how to approach the enemy, we need to find you a suitable weapon.
What would you have me use?
Ah, but you already have the answer.
Hey, my father's blade and bracer. How did you get them?
By using the same skills I've just taught you.
It's not exactly in working condition.
I assume you're familiar with Leonardo da Vinci.
See, but how does a painter factor into this?
He's far more than that. Bring him the pieces. You'll see.
Before I go, one last question, if I may.
Of course.
Why have you given your aid so readily to me, a stranger?
I too know betrayal.
Ace up my sleeve. Visit Leonardo da Vinci at his workshop and see if he can repair Giovanni's blade. Makes you wonder what happened to Paola. Perhaps she'll tell us later. Cautiously, quietly, and hopefully unnoticed, we can make our way to Leonardo's workshop. Attempting to discreetly get to Leonardo's workshop, we find another landmark. Palazzo Medici, completed in 1455 by Cosimo di Medici's live-in architect, Micheloso di Bartolomeo Michelozzi. The Palazzo Medici was constructed as the private residence of the Medici family. It was designed according to the values of humanism, the dominant ideology of the Renaissance, which attempts to engage the viewer with structures built on a more human scale. At least that's the theoretical ideology of the Palazzo, but the effect goes something more like this. The outside is foreboding and keeps people out. If the facade could talk, it seems to be saying, "Get back. You do not belong here. You are not important enough to enter." In contrast, the interior courtyard, which only the Medici and their guests saw, has none of the exterior's hard edges. It's full of luscious, curving, rounded arches. Like a wedding cake, it says, "You've arrived. Welcome to paradise." In fact, Cosimo both approved the courtyard and rejected an earlier architectural plan by Brunelleschi that would have led to a more open facade. He wanted a Medici fortress inside Florence. Unfortunately, even though the door is shiny, we can't use or go into the palazzo at this time. So, onward we will go.
Just what you need. Somewhere in the back, perhaps.
Oh, Ezio Auditore! I didn't expect to see you again. What with all that's happened. Where are my manners? Welcome back. Now, how can I be of service?
I was hoping you could repair something of mine.
Of course! Come, this way! Che pasticcio. Tutto il santo giorno che cerco. Let me clear a space. Alright, let's see it. Fascinating. I don't know, Ezio. Despite its age, the construction is rather advanced. I've never seen anything quite like it. I'm afraid there's not much I can do without the original plans. Mi dispiace. Wait.
What are you doing?
The contents of this page are encrypted, but if my theory is correct, based on these sketches, it may very well...
It may very well what?
Please, sit.
Leonardo,
Shh. Remarkable. If we transpose the letters and then select every third... There! It's finished!
Huh? What's finished?
The blade. I managed to decode that parchment of yours. It showed me exactly what to do. Now all that's left is to remove your ring finger.
Really?
I'm sorry, but this is how it must be done. The blade is designed to ensure the commitment of whoever wields it.
Bene. Do it quickly.
I was only having fun, Ezio. Though the blade once required a sacrifice, it's been modified. You can keep your finger.
Incredible.
Yes, it is. Tell me, do you have other pages like this?
I'm sorry. Only the one.
Listen, if you ever do happen across another one of these, please, bring it to me.
You have my word. And thank you for fixing this.
By order of the Florentine Guard! Open this door!
Just a moment. Wait here.
Are you Leonardo da Vinci?
See, how may I be of service?
I need you to answer some questions.
Certainly. What seems to be the trouble?
A witness claims to have seen you consorting with an enemy of the city.
What? Me? Consorting? Preposterous.
When was the last time you saw or spoke with Ezio Auditore?
Who?
Non fare il finto tonto! We know you were close with the family. Perhaps this will help to clear your head. Ready to talk? What about now? Ready to talk? Tell me what I want to...
Grazie, Ezio.
Sorry about that.
I've grown accustomed to their abuses.
What of the body?
Bring it inside and put it with the others.
Others?
The city gives them to me for research.
Leonardo's a bad practical joker, talking about chopping my finger off, and he's got bodies in his basement. I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but I don't know.
Over there. See? Like it never happened.
Thank you, Leonardo. For everything.
Anytime. And remember, if you find more of those strange pages, bring them to me. Should they contain new designs, I will upgrade your blade as well.
Of course. Now, I really should be getting back to Paola.
Porgile I miei omaggi.
Was Leonardo just being nice when he said, give her my regards? Or has he used her services before. Who knows? Well, with that mission completed, we have gained some new weapons and some new skills to try out at some point. I suppose we'll listen to Leonardo and find another codex. Perhaps it'll help us out. The door is guarded by 3 guards. We get to the first one before they noticed, but it's time to fight.
Not again. When will the killing stop?
Now that we have our codex page, and we've unlocked a new area of the map, perhaps we should find some treasures. Our first one isn't far away. Climbing up this building, we can find it in the balcony. And since it's so close, perhaps we can take in the sights and get the viewpoints as well. While collecting chests, we've attracted the attention of the guards and need to dispatch them before collecting our loot. While doing so, we come across a landmark. Santa Croce. Rebecca says one of those strange glyphs Sean mentioned is on this landmark. You should go and find it. The largest Franciscan church in the world, the Basilica di Santa Croce, contains frescoes by Giotto and a chapel in the cloister designed by Filippo Brunelleschi that is considered one of the masterpieces of Renaissance architecture. According to St. Francis and the Franciscans' reading of the Bible, Christ told his followers to take on a vow of poverty, and he said to them, "Take nothing for your journey, neither staff, nor script, nor bread, nor money, neither have 2 coats." So how did a sect of Catholicism that held a vow of poverty as one of its core values own such a posh church? Well, in 1322, the Pope declared that the Franciscans' vow of poverty was illegal, that Christ had in fact owned property and wanted his followers to own property. This meant, of course, that the Franciscans were forced to collect money and land, which would in turn go to the Pope, proving that biblical interpretation can be surprisingly profitable, especially if you are the Pope. And since this building has a glyph, we might as well find it. It happens to be on the north end of the building, just above these arches. If we go onto the roof, turn to the left, we'll find it on this wall.
The past, a vast web of connections and interconnections, all ruled by chance. Or is it?
Okay, so it appears that we have some sort of circular matching puzzle. and things are coming together. Easy enough. Queen Elizabeth of England, 1559, and she's got the Piece of Eden too. Oh, but we're not done yet. Another. Let's see who we got. Yep, Emperor Napoleon I of France, 1812. He has the Piece of Eden 1 in his coat there. Oh, still not done. I'm not sure how long these are going. Looks like George Washington. The United States, yeah, okay. 1781, Apple of Eden 3. I'm not sure if these are the same apple or a different one, but we got our code and we're in. Alright, so the two people are running toward a wall or something like that. Those clips are so fast, I do replay them one more time. But when we're all done finding them all, we'll play the whole thing together, I think, and hopefully find what the heck is going on there. But with that, we are gonna look at getting a little more lay of the land, some more viewpoints going. Just imagine the upper body and finger strength this guy has. After jumping off of a large building, we run across a caravan. Caravan travel. You should be able to buy a caravan ride to another city. Travel in the Renaissance was not the disgusting ordeal as it is today. Instead, it was merely terrifying. The countryside was filled with bandits, causing most travelers to move in armed groups called caravans. Anxious voyagers usually sewed valuables and gold into the soles of their shoes or the lining of their jackets. Guides, called venturini, were sometimes hired to help plot the route of the caravans and book rooms at local inns, but those carriers were often working with the bandits, just like travel agents today. So he would be saying that corporate places, hotels, CEOs, stuff like that are bandits, and that the travel agents would be working for them so that they can all make money. I guess I don't understand. Next, we noticed a transcript nearby. There's 3 guards guarding the door. We can take them. Fortunately, more have spotted us from down the street and have joined in the fight. It looks like we scared them off. Hopefully they don't tell anyone else before we have the chance to leave. And with that, we acquire a codex page. In our travels, we missed a codex page, but we're at it now. The guards noticed us right away. It's 5 against 1. 4 against 1. One of the guards will flee. 3 against 1. Now 2 Now one last guard.
Release me!
And he's down, clearing us the way to get the codex. While on the run from the guards, we discover a new landmark. The Ospedale degli Innocenti. Rebecca states that one of the glyphs is on this building. The building was designed by Filippo Brunicelli and opened in 1445. The Ospedale degli Innocenti, Hospital of the Innocents, was an orphanage for unwanted babies. Apparently, the Florentines were a feisty bunch, since it was the first of its kind in Europe. Babies were typically abandoned in a basin in the front, although later transactions were facilitated by the introduction of a rotating horizontal wheel which moved infants into the building without the parents being seen. Some parents weren't just ejecting their loved child, they were making money off of them. Many a mother abandoned their baby in order to be hired by the Ospedale as a wet nurse so she could be paid to feed her own child. The boys were tutored in various professions by the Ospedale's staff, while girls were usually trained to become nuns or wives. I mean, looking at it, it's not like the worst thing in the world. I mean, even for the parents, necessarily, if they were doing it because they were just poor and, they needed that money or whatever, and they could still care for their child. I think it's, a decent way to do things if it came down to that. But I also believe that people could be a little smarter when having children. I don't personally have any children, so that's just one person's opinion. This glyph was a bit tricky to find. It took me a while. We are coming from the south end of the building, and on the east side we find it on this risen up part.
Power doesn't die. It's passed on.
Okay, so Descendants unlock the file. He carried it with him. Find his inheritance. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Strategic Meeting, 1944. After searching the page for a while, we come across some strange glyphs. And after going over them and doing a little bit of research, I found that this is a pigpen cipher. The message in the cipher reads, "The Masons brought it across the sea. George Washington passed it on." And then we find it. The apple. Houdini beginning the Chinese water torture cell escape in 1913. After searching around for a while, we find another message. This one, in Morse code, says, "They hit him in the stomach." And then we find it. The apple. This one's titled Gandhi during the Salt March, 1930. Searching this image, we find yet another Morse code message. This one says, "The bullet hit him in the chest." I'm not exactly sure who these messages are for. They don't seem to be for us. They're just telling a story about what happened, essentially. Gandhi here was indeed assassinated and shot in the chest, and Houdini was punched in the stomach. But with those two pictures deciphered, we unlock our next file. Well, again, we don't really see much. Seems to be some rafters or wood. With all of our viewpoints found and all of our treasures, which, by the way, we earned 4,968 florins, we can go and collect on some feathers. Our first one should be right around this area. Looking around, we don't see anything quite yet. And then we spot it atop the door. Our first feather here is a challenge to get to, but it is in the hospital, the orphanage. Once we have it, we can head to the next. Our next feather is located right about there on the map. Looking around the area, we see that it is on a post sticking out from a wall. The next feather we need to find is to the south and a little bit east. This one's pretty much out in the open, just on top of this ruined building. And then we can look for our next one, which we'll find a little bit more to the south, and this time west. Getting to the spot, we don't see anything yet, but looking around, we get a glimpse of some shimmer, and there it is, right there in the window. Our next feather is located far to the east, a little bit to the south, right up on top of this blacksmith marker on the map. Heading to the blacksmith, we didn't find anything, so to get a better view, we'll go up on top of the ruined building, where we see the feather, and grab it. Our next feather is very close by. I noticed it when collecting the last. All we have to do is go a little bit south and climb this building, and the feather is found just on the top. Our next feather is just to the west, here on the border of the districts. Getting to the location reveals that our feather is on top of one of these cranes just on the very end. Our next feather is located around this tailor, and that's where we'll be going. Reaching the location, we find that the feather is actually on the back side of the building, just over the tailor, outside of this window. Our next feather is just to the east of us, right about there. Now that we've reached the area, we've gone up top, we can look around and see that the feather is again on this post sticking out from the wall. And for now, I think that we'll call it a day. We've done quite a bit finding things and looking at our areas and what have you. And on our next episode, we'll start back with our main quest line. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, drop a like, a comment, whatever. And we'll see you next time.